Hello everybody, how's it going? MJ here. All right, I love this. If I don't touch this mouse, oh well. I like it when the monitor goes dead after a while. How's everybody doing? All right, I want to say fist bump to everybody. Tonight we have a little whiskey review. You know, I don't do whiskey reviews all the time, but I would like to do some more, but this isn't really a whiskey review channel, but you know, the fact is, Taiwan Live TV, just, it is whatever we say it is, you know. But this is actually pronounced Knockando, and this is a 12-year single malt from Speyside, one of the most highly regarded areas, of course, of Scotland, where, you know, many wonderful single malt expressions come from. So yeah, I got my studio glasses on tonight. These are the glasses that I wear when I'm working in the studio because they're meant for medium distance and close up. There's no like far-sighted, you know. It makes it really nice because usually when I'm looking at comments, I'm doing this. You're looking at my nose, or you know, this is perfect for me. So, all right. Now, before I actually get into the review, I have a shout out from my man Gert, and this is his YouTube channel, the Whiskey Lovers Society, and you can see it overhead right here. They're on YouTube, and Gert does whiskey reviews. Now, it's really cool because English is not his first language, and yet the way he describes the flavors, the nose, the finish it's amazing, and he's got a really nice channel. Excuse me. Sorry, I just ate a super spicy meal, which I love, and I love super spicy food, and then whiskey. It's great. But I like Gert a lot, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm finding out that a lot of his tastes match mine. He'll do a review of a whiskey, and I'll say, oh, he's like, oh, I really like this. I'm like, yeah, I like that too. It's like, and it tasted it, and I was like, so his descriptions, flavor descriptions are really nice. So I'm just going to leave this up here. And so, Gert, you know, if you ever see this, man, hey, just keep what you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing, because you're doing a service to the whiskey drinking community, and I think that's such a cool name, the Whiskey Lovers Society. All right, now this is my water bottle. I love this water bottle. I'm not sponsored by them, but I wish I was. Contigo, it says there. Oh, really, really nice bottle. Now, if you guys have been watching Dave had a really nice broadcast today. And I thought it was really cool how they were, if you haven't seen it yet, I hope it's not a spoiler, but they were passing like, you know, the product from the cafe through a little hole with a bear paw. I just thought that was really cool. I told you, excuse me, I'm sorry, I keep clearing my throat. I told you my friend Will is leaving Taiwan, and he gave me his acoustic guitar. It's hanging up back here. You can see this. It's a beautiful guitar, so I'm really happy about that. I'm getting ready to do some acoustic guitar tracks. I've done a lot of electric guitar tracks in the last few weeks. And one of the things I'm going to do is that I have a Dante network, and I have a USB mic, and so it's sometimes hard to bring USB sources into the digital console. And for the analog console over here, forget it. So the only way you can bring this in, really, is through Dante Via. Excuse me, I'm just going to do this. Hold on. Pardon me. There you go. Nothing like a good throat clear, you know, just to get it out of the way. So Dante Via is an application that runs, and it looks at all the different audio sources on your machine and gives you the option of connecting them to the Dante network. So I can actually get this USB microphone with the nice on-off switch on it and the volume control for monitoring from JTS, and I can get this microphone into Reaper directly. So it's pretty cool. I can get into the console or anywhere that I want. So I'm going to be doing some guitar tracks with that acoustic guitar, and I'm going to use this mic and test it out. And I am meeting with JTS on Thursday of this week, so hopefully that'll be going very well, and I'm looking forward to meeting with JTS because I've been a big fan of their microphones for a long time, and we quite frankly need to get the word out about them because they're so good. Because I've got like the JS1 2 mic over here, and it's actually it's in the cabinet, and it's phenomenal. So really, we need to get the word out about JTS. They've been around for almost 40 years, and they're a Taiwan company, but they're not well known in the West. All right, now it's time to get down to business. Now, I didn't know how to say this, so I went on YouTube and I found a video of a gentleman just saying one word: Knockando. Yep, Knockando. 12-year-old Scotch, and it says it's distilled at the Knockando Distilleries, Banffshire, Scotland. And it says fruity, sweet, and delicate. Now, this is a 12-year Scotch. It's from Speyside, and it's 43% alcohol, so it's a little bit higher than the standard 40%, and especially of the blends. But I'm looking in here, and I wasn't able to see anything about chill filtering or artificial colors, and that's kind of not a good thing, because if you have a whiskey that's not chill filtered, they're not going to not tell you, and if it's not artificially colored, they're not going to tell you. They're not going to not tell you. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. I'm just looking at this again. It doesn't say. What it does say, it says that the distillery of Knockando stands on the banks of the River Spey, which gives its name to Speyside, a region of Scotland long renowned as the home of the finest malt whiskies. It goes on to say that the Knockando is derived from Gaelic, and it has the Gaelic spelling. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Fist bump to you. It has a Gaelic spelling, and I'm not going to try to say that, but it means Little Black Hill. So this is Knockando's Little Black Hill. So that's what that is in Speyside. And I can't wait to get this open. Now, we'll say this. It's, for a 12-year, it's a little bit light. It kind of looks like Maggio, like plum wine, but it's not. It's a Scotch. So, and now I haven't opened this. Usually, when I do a review, I drink some first. I'm always cheating a little bit. But it's got the the standard foil on it. And a cork, so here we go. That's always a nice sound. And then, oh yeah. So first of all, oh, that's promising. Right away it's promising because it's not an oak bomb. I always like to smell it in the bottle too, of course, but you can't really nose it, but this can kind of give you a little bit of an idea what's gonna happen. Okay, now Mark says it's quite a smoky whiskey, and of course Speyside is known for for peaty whiskeys, and so I don't have such a wide angle lens here. I'm just so I'm just going to hold this up and pour this in and try to get a little shot of this. Yeah. Now I'm going to put the cork back on the bottle. I suspect at 43% it might need to sit a little bit in the glass, but let me just swirl it around here, wet the sides of the glass, let it, permeate a little bit. For those of you who just joined, you may be wondering why I have Whiskey Lovers Society up here. This is not my channel. That's Gert's channel, and I recommend that you check it out. And he even reviewed, if not this very same expression, he reviewed a whiskey from Knockando. It may have been this one, or another one. I don't remember, but I remember watching the video, and he does a very good. He does a nice review. So, first of all, the color. See, I'm used to the Glendronach and all those others with the the Oloroso sherry, but this looks very light, but it's deceiving. It almost looks like an like a high mountain oolong tea that we have here in Taiwan. So, all right, here we go. First of all, alcohol, oak. Wow. I'm going to leave it for a few minutes because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not getting any peat at all. And what I'm getting is mostly alcohol. And so maybe I should have poured it beforehand. So Mark, how's everything with you? Today in Taiwan, the Central Epidemic Command Center said that we're going to have level 2 until November 1st. So it's not bad. Not bad, November 1st. And they are relaxing some of the mask mandates. Now around the world, people are going nuts with all these COVID passports and permits and all that stuff, and Taiwan is having none of that. It's amazing. And we have our cases under control. So it just goes to show with proper procedures and a willing and compliant populace, you can get it under control. All right, let's see. Now we got some more oak. Yeah, less alcohol. There's definitely a sweetness going on. Chilly days, yeah. Oh, I hear you. I hear you. It's still about 30 here. Today was about 32. The foyer in the front of my house today, the fans didn't come on, so it didn't get that hot. That was good, because I was exhaust fans in the front. It dropped about 10 degrees last night from normal, but it's not that bad. No heat on. I actually did have the AC on last night because I'm trying to get rid of some of the humidity in the air. It's definitely sweet. There's a little bit of that light honey, not that really, really dark, dark, super thick honey. It's a light honey. And I'm not getting any peat out of this. Interesting. Wow, the oak is coming out more as this kind of evaporates a little bit. And wow. There's no sherry in this, and it's interesting because it's been so long since I had a non-sherry whiskey. It's a soft fruit, like I want to say like raisin, and it's almost a peach, but boy, it's down like 60 dB. It's down. Now it's changing character. It's becoming a little more floral, if you will, which is nice. It doesn't always have to be, about the same, toffee, cinnamon, caramel, butterscotch, and oak. It doesn't have to always be those, those same ones. And this one, oh yeah. You know what though? There's almost like a plum flower in there for me. This is really interesting. I have not, this is a new whiskey for me, and I've not had this combination quite like this. What I like is that the oak is way down, and because I'm not a big oak guy, and oak bombs just like some of the ones like the Glenfarclas, I love the whiskey, but it was like you got to be in the mood for oak, 43,000 cases, COVID, not whiskey. Flu season just around the corner. Yeah, I'm going to get my flu shot. My daughter got her flu shot. I'm going to get the flu shot. I get flu shot every year. And fortunately, I've had my second dose of the Medigen, which is a protein subunit COVID-19 vaccine produced in Taiwan. It's very safe. And No genetic code. Now this is nice. I've let it sit in the glass. I've been swirling it around. Okay. Here we go. Yes, peaches. Yeah, there you go. Peaches. Boy. Now, I've been nosing this for a while. I can't wait to taste this. All right. Let's see what we got here. Made me cough because it went the wrong way a little bit. Boy, some review that was, huh? A little bit sharp, and which is surprising because it's 43. It's not 46 or over 50. A little bit sharp. I got a spice, but not not a black pepper kind of spice, which is interesting because it's not peppery at all. But I'm not tasting any peat whatsoever. I am tasting oak, and we're going to go for this again because I have upset the equilibrium. And it's interesting because always the second and third mouthfuls are different. It's a lot like tea. In Taiwan tea, it's always the third cup where you get the actual, we say the wei dao of the drink. There's definitely a floral thing going on. It's some kind of like a plum blossom. That's very interesting. Not unlike rose, but definitely not that strong. The oak is there. I do not taste any peat at all. My impression of this whiskey is that it tastes, I hate to say this, it tastes immature. Now they call it a 12, it's got to be a 12, but it tastes immature. It tastes almost like some non-age statement whiskeys that I've had, and I don't know why it should, because it's a 12 year. When you look at it, it's quite light. Of course, I am used to the the sherry finished sherry cask. So, but it's coming around. It's coming around. Unfortunately, there's too much oak for me, because that honey is definitely there. There's a sweetness that's there. The wood sugar obviously is there. But overall, the oak, in my opinion, is a little bit too overpowering in this particular expression. Now, I want to try another. I'm going to go back. I'm going to look at Gert's review and see which one for sure that he did of this Knockando, which expression from that distillery, because I want to check it out again. Because you had said, Mark, that it was smoky, and I believe that the one that Gert reviewed had some peat flavor, peat smoke, and this doesn't mention anything about peat, in the flavor notes at all. It just says particularly delicate. This is interesting because most whiskeys the descriptions are quite grandiose. This simply says particularly delicate, fruity and subtle, with distinctive fresh almond notes. Now, I'm kind of an almond expert. We call those xingrang in Chinese, and xingrang is like, well, today I've had some almond milk, you know, and I eat a great deal of almonds, and in Taiwan they're excellent, but I do not get almond from this. But I'm gonna look for it, if you will, because you know it changes as you drink more of it. A couple more sips later, more of the alcohol evaporates, and of course you can also add water to it, and so you know the palate does change. Yeah. What did you think of it? And is it something that you drink regularly, or are you more familiar? How many bottles have you had? That's what I'm saying. I'm liking this the more that I sip on it, which is normal. I've had some whiskeys, right, where I poured just a normal dram, and the first sip I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I can finish this. And then by the end of one glass, it started to come around. Of course, by the end of the bottle, then I become a fan. So that's how it works. But it's funny how they're so light on the description. And I looked at the whiskey app that I use, and its description was very bland. And I'm going to tell you, I kind of find the whiskey, and I hate to say this, a little bit nondescript. The Deanston that I did last time, that wasn't even an aged, had no age statement, single malt. That thing, in comparison to this, was so much richer and had so much more depth. And there were layers too, and there was, the behind the palate and the above, these things. And I got to tell you, this is not really impressing me so much yet. But it was very cheap, relatively speaking, though. This bottle was 890 NT, which is, let's see, in US dollars, that's going to be about 26 US dollars. So, hey, Frank, how you doing? Fist bump to you. Oh, you went to a Hempfest today? Oh, in Deerfield. Yeah. I know right where that is. So, oh, I see. Oh, okay. That's sorry to hear about that. Yeah. So, okay. So, hopefully, Fred and Mary are with you. Say hi to you guys. Haven't seen you for a long time. Yeah, everybody's leaf peeping. Frank is an old friend of mine, and he's an avid camper. And what he's talking about up in New Hampshire is the White Mountain Range, and they're really something. And I used to spend a lot of time up there, and I loved it. It was great. It was fantastic. I'm doing a small whiskey review here. This Knockando. It's a Speyside, and I'm just saying, unfortunately, it seems a little bit nondescript. Really? Wow. 30 pounds. Yeah. Wow. No, this was less than 1,000 NT, Mark. That's crazy. So it was around 26 or 27 US dollars in between. So now I got something playing in the background. See if my monitor comes back on. This is Reaper in the background. I got it on a loop. I don't want to get a copyright strike, but you guys won't believe what I've got up here. These are the actual tracks, and you may know this song. I'm just going to do this. Ready? That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to do an experiment and see if that got me a copyright strike. Ken Rod, fist bump to you. Good to see you. Yeah, thank you. These are my computer glasses. And I got them specifically for working in the studio because, the other ones I have with the far-sightedness, the far on the top and the near on the bottom, right? I'm looking, and plus looking at my phone. You guys are looking at my nose, and I'm doing this kind of stuff. doesn't work. So I went to the store and specifically asked for blue light blocking lenses, but they're not colored. You can see that they're clear, so they're not like yellow. And I asked them to take the distance range out, so at like this is arm's length away, which is when I'm mixing, it's arm lengths away from the DAW editing screen, and of course on the console I'm looking down, so I have the close-ups on the bottom. So this is a medium range and close range, and they work great. The thing is I want to get my other glasses replaced now, so yeah, I know what you mean. And we're all going to need live streaming glasses, because like right now I'm looking at the top of the lens, and I can read the text and everything on the phone just perfectly. So instead of doing the nasal inspection. And for those of you who just joined, you may be wondering why I have Whiskey Lover Society up here. This is Gert's channel. I always like to support other channels. I don't believe in this competition stuff between YouTube channels. There's enough people in the world, and they can follow you, they can follow him, they can follow her, they can follow whoever, and so yeah. So I always try to support everybody. Now Ken Rod's got a channel, and you guys want to check him out here at Ken Rod's Coffee Break, and he does, as you might guess, coffee reviews. And if you like coffee, and he knows a lot about coffee too, because every time I watch his streams, I don't get a chance to watch him live so much because of the time difference. He usually comes on when it's about 3 a.m. here, and I'm in bed. And I'm like, I'll catch you on the replay, but I usually learn something, so it's good. All right, so I'm going to try one more, and we're going to pop this and see what the second little splash. You bet, bro. Fist bump. See a little splash. See what it's like. The Deanston that I did before seemed like it was a great deal richer than this, with a lot more depth. And I am, quite frankly, spoiled for two reasons. I'm spoiled on Oloroso sherry finishing, but I'm also spoiled living in what, if I was going to start a YouTube channel on whiskey, see, Gert's got Whiskey Lover Society. This would be the whiskey lover's paradise because of these prices. And like I told you, Mark, and too, you've heard me talk about this in Taiwan. I mean, Glendronach 12 is the same price. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's still $30. It's like 1,000 NT. And some of like the Balvanese, they're like 1,500, which is like $45 US. And I mean, the more expensive ones are the Taiwan ones, like Cavalon, which everybody knows I don't like Cavalon whiskey. And but they're expensive, so I don't know. I don't get it. So here we go. That tune, it's getting a lot more mellow. That tune that I just played you is actually a Boston song, and I did a mix of More Than a Feeling and released it on YouTube on my studio channel, and I more than likely will do the same thing with this. These tracks were a little bit messed up. There's some issues with them, how they were compiled. I'm like the other ones, More Than a Feeling, those were, to my ear and from my experience, I'm going to say extensive studio experience in the old days, those sounded like the original tracks. These sound like somebody comped them or made stems. And some of my Queen tracks are like that too. But fortunately, like the multi-tracks that I have for Bohemian Rhapsody, those are real. And all the stuff that's interlaced in between that you have to work around when you're mixing it's pretty interesting. And I haven't even actually tried to mix that song. It's so incredibly complex. But it's a lot of fun to analyze and study, and I really enjoy, Brian May's guitar playing. Now, I'm getting more of the light honey, not that really dark stuff. The light honey, I'm getting more soft fruits. Yeah, the peach and a floral thing going on here. Yep, definitely. And now that I'm accustomed to it, the oak has dropped down about 10 dB, and it's becoming more pleasant. This is interesting. This is going to be a whiskey I'm going to have to appreciate slowly over, over time. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I can't tell you yet. Would I buy this again? I can't tell you. But the Deanston that I did last time, I definitely would get that again. Even though it's a non-aged statement whiskey, it was really nice, really sweet. So let me ask you guys, what's going on with you guys? And let me show you a couple things. We went out today for lunch at a traditional Taiwan restaurant, and this is what it looks like. We had, this is classic Digua Ye. Yeah, oh, he is. Yeah, well, he should. He's got a PhD in infrared astronomy. Yep. This is sweet potato leaves, and they have sweetened it with braised pork, and it's mostly pork fat on the top, and it's lightly seasoned with just a dash of soy sauce. And this dish was off the charts. These sweet potato leaves are so incredibly soft and flavorful. They're hard to describe because I've never had them outside of Taiwan. I've never found any place that actually used sweet potato leaves. They throw them away, which is a shame because sweet potato leaves are naturally bug resistant. There's something about the flavor of the leaves that most bugs don't like them. So the farmers don't have to spray them. So the interesting thing is in most places, if you get sweet potato leaves at the market, they're more than likely to not have as much pesticide on them as other vegetables would, which I think is a really huge deal. Now this is an interesting plate. In Taiwan we have a lot of side dishes, and it may be hard to describe this because it's covered in a garnish of cilantro, and you see sliced, or it's like stick ginger. Those are ginger, little spears if you want to call them. And you can eat the ginger if you want to, and the cilantro, which I really like. But most of the time people don't eat that much of it. It's common to eat that kind of ginger with things like dumplings and stuff. But on the far left, in the foreground, is a diced cake of deep fried tofu, and it was just as good as it looks. Deep fried tofu is really nice. And then over to the right, in the front of the plate, is what we call doupi, and it's meat from the head of a pig. It's pork head meat, if you will, like from the face. And there's a lot of fat in the cheeks. And let's go around and let's look at towards the back. All right. On the upper right and the back, it's a little bit out of focus. That is sliced pork ear. And in Taiwan, most of the pork ear is smoked. And you can see a little bit of it at the very bottom on the far right, kind of squiggly looking lines. But hey, Matthew, fist bump to you. Thanks for joining. And in the back, on the far left at the top, you see kind of a dark green thing. It looks like a roll. That is actually a piece of kelp seaweed that's rolled up. And so this dish has I think 4 or maybe 5 things on it, and it may not look like a whole lot, but it really is a nice dish. And this is classic Taiwan food, and it's very inexpensive. This is an interesting soup, and it has some of that Japanese fish roll in it. You see the pink, the hot pink colored, you know, thing up in the top, and you can see cabbage, and I'm pretty sure lettuce, which is interesting because before I came to Taiwan, I had never actually had lettuce cooked in a soup, but in Taiwan and other parts of Asia I've been, it's common to have cooked lettuce. And this is a type of wonton, and what they do with this is they deep fry the wontons and then they cook them in the soup. And in the middle, those are daikon radish. So you guys know what the daikon radish is, Japanese radish. And so we had that today for lunch, and it was so good that we actually got another dish of the sweet potato leaves. Sorry, working in two languages sometimes I get a little goofed up. So sometimes I think it would be better if I didn't do a live stream. If I just did a recording and just use whatever language I want and then just subtitle it down the bottom. It would be easier just to do it later, but I'm kind of lazy, so. Oh, now, excuse me, now oh yeah, it's really getting sweet. And it's a nice mellow sweet, because there is what I like to call a sickly sweet. For me, that really dark honey, you know, the really concentrated stuff. But the lighter honeys, they're not too much, and it's very, very pleasant. And there's a lot of yang in Chinese. So yeah, I'm getting that, and I'm getting the aromatic part, you know, in the nose. So yeah. Definitely a floral thing going on. Now, what's happening is, and I suspect that some of this is purposeful, but you know, we have in Chinese we have a expression, "chong beats," and it just chong is something that would be like forced or shoved. Like you could say, if I infused, like you know, guys know that I infuse rum with cinnamon, so I can say that I, you know, 冲 肉桂的味道. So I could say that I infused the cinnamon flavor, like that. But it also refers to like this invasive feeling that you get in your nose, like with horseradish or wasabi, that kind of rush, you know what I'm talking about, you get in your sinuses, and we call that 冲 beats being the nose, right? And so that kind of sensation is actually, for people like me, who I'm a big flavor person. I mean, things, okay, there are parts of vocabulary that don't exist for me, like it's too spicy or there's too much garlic. Things like that don't exist for me. I love it. And I travel places, you know, like these little villages in Laos and Thailand and other places, looking specifically for like these really amazing cuisines and flavors, and I found them. And so big flavors don't scare me. I love them, and I really enjoy that kind of tone beats. Like it makes your eyes water and stuff. I love wasabi, and sometimes just because it's just such a sensory thing, I would too many names with M. Yeah, I know, and that's why I use MJ. Trust me, it's such a sensory thing that I really enjoy having that rush in my nose, like with horseradish, you know, even though you're going like, oh, yeah, but you know, 30 seconds later you want to do it again. Lots of dishes like that, like kimchi and in Korean cuisine. And I think that sometimes the alcohol in Scotch is jacked up a little bit to give you that nose rush. I really do, because it is a pleasant experience. I mean, modern distilleries, they can cap. It's kind of like, you know, a limiter on audio. You can have the audio level go up as high as you want, and you just, keep pouring it on. It doesn't matter. It ain't moving above that. Modern distilleries, they can put a clamp on the alcohol content anywhere that they want in the process, right? It's just a matter of dilution. And sometimes I think, it's just my maybe lack of experience talking, but I think sometimes some of the whiskeys might be jacked a little bit just to give you more of a nose rush as something to experience. Because like I said, that is not an unpleasant sensation at all, and I like it. And at 43%, every sip I take, I'm getting that. Of course, at the end of the glass, it's a little bit less prominent as some of the alcohol dissipates, but it is a nosing glass, so it's not like it's wide open and everything is just escaping. But yeah, a little bit too much oak for me, but it's not completely out of balance like some other ones I've had. I mean, some of the whiskeys that I had that were oak bombs, I was checking my glass for sawdust, and was I sitting in a canoe or something? I don't know, because it was just like I couldn't get away from the oak. It was just had a stranglehold on me. But this is oaky, but it's not a bomb. It's not like that. I am enjoying this. It reminds me, I'm going to tell you, a little bit of, there are only two blends that I normally drink. I prefer the single malts, but one of the blends I drink is Teacher's Highland Cream, and the other one is White Horse. And this reminds me a little bit of White Horse, if you guys are familiar with that. Because White Horse can be a little sharp. It's only 40%, and White Horse has a very strong nose, especially the first sip of the evening. It's like, it'll get you. But this is calming down, and of course this is going to be the last that I take for tonight. All right, time for some water. All right, now we're going to have a word from one of our sponsors.
Hi everybody, you're watching Late Night with MJ Klein on Taiwan Live TV.
And thank you, Mr. Kenrod. I appreciate that. And now we're going to hear from our friend Dave in Osaka.
Hi, this is Dave in Osaka, live from Greenland, and you're watching Taiwan Live TV with MJ Klein.
And I'll say it again, nothing says I love you like spending your life savings on a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Greenland on a boat, and you're in a iceberg field and you go, oh man, I got to do a bumper for MJ. Oh, it's amazing. I still can't believe he did that. Live from Greenland, that's true. I'm going to hear from our friend George here. It's from JTS. Oh, I gotta put it in the middle.
Hi, this is George from Taiwan, JDS. You're watching the Late Night with MJ Klein.
I love that fist bump. You know what though? I gotta edit that because there's always some kind of frame where catches you like mid word, or your eyes are like goofy, and George blinked at the exact time, at the exact second that the camera started rolling, and that was used as the thumbnail for the video. So I'm going to edit that, but that's cool. Fortunately, Reaper does video editing, so it makes it really easy to do. All right, guys, listen, thank you so much. This is going to be a short one tonight. I just wanted to come on, and I want to give a shout out to my friend Gert. If you want to check out Whiskey Lover Society, that's a YouTube channel for whiskey reviews. He's really great. He gets a lot of samples from a supplier. I'm pretty sure it's in Belgium. And so he's able to review a fantastic number of whiskeys because he doesn't have to buy big 70 centiliter bottles, so. And he's very excellent. He's better than I am at, really. This guy's serious about whiskey descriptions. And what I like about his videos is he'll always pop up a picture of what he's talking about. He'll say, he tastes this, and then pop, and then he tastes that, and pop. And it's very entertaining. So, and not boring. So. But thank you, Matthew. I'm going to go ahead and I got a little work to do tonight in the studio, so I'm going to get to it. But I want to thank everyone for joining, and thank you so much. I appreciate your patronage for Taiwan Live TV, and no donations, no Patreon, no nothing. Just give me a like. So you guys take care. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much, and remember, I love all of you. Take care. Bye-bye. That's fantastic. Thanks so much.